September 14, 2019. Before sunrise, 18 drones and 7 cruise missiles hit the Abqaiq and Kurais oil processing facilities in Saudi Arabia. Abqaiq handled roughly half of Saudi Arabia's total oil output. The attack knocked out 5% of global oil supply overnight. Crude prices spiked 15% at market open, the largest single-day jump in 30 years. The Houthis claimed responsibility. The Houthis operate from Yemen. No Iranian aircraft entered Saudi airspace. No Iranian soldier crossed a border. Iran denied any involvement. The facilities still processed Saudi oil. The attack still happened. The people who planned it were never in the same country as the target. That is what a shadow army looks like in operation. 1979, weeks after the fall of the Shah, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps was founded. Ayatollah Khomeini didn't trust the existing Iranian military, the Artesh, because it had been built by the monarchy. So he built a second one. IRGC answers to the supreme leader, not the government. The Artesh defends Iran's borders. IRGC defends the revolution. Those are not the same mission. Today, IRGC has an estimated 125,000 personnel, its own ground forces, Navy, Air Force, Missile Corps, and intelligence arm. Alongside it sits the Basij, a paramilitary auxiliary with an estimated 90,000 members used for domestic control. What this video covers is what that parallel force built over 40 years and the operations that proved it worked. Iran launched a ballistic missile strike from its own territory that hit a target in Iraq with a CEP under 10 meters. The strike wasn't meant to kill anyone. Here's what it was meant to do instead. The IRGC Aerospace Force controls Iran's ballistic missile program, and it's the branch that most directly changed the military calculus in the Middle East. The Shahab-3 has a range of 1,300 kilometers and a nuclear-capable configuration. It puts Israel, Saudi Arabia, and U.S. bases across the Gulf within reach from Iranian territory. It entered service in the early 2010s and has been modified through multiple variants since. The Fateh 313 operates at shorter range, 500 kilometers, but carries a 500-kilogram warhead and was used in September 2017 against ISIS positions in Deir ez-Zor, Syria. That was the first time the IRGC fired a ballistic missile outside Iranian territory in a combat operation. The strike crossed Iraq's airspace. Iraq wasn't consulted. The Zolfaghar is where the precision question changes. Range of 700 kilometers. Warhead of 450 kilograms. Circular error probable under 10 meters. That's not a missile you use to threaten a city. That's a missile you use to hit a specific building inside a city. January 8, 2020. 16 ballistic missiles struck Al-Asad Air Base in western Iraq. The facility housing U.S. forces launched 72 hours after the U.S. killed Qasem Soleimani. 0 U.S. fatalities. The missiles hit aircraft parking areas, helicopters, and base infrastructure. Iran sent advance warning through Iraqi intermediaries. Iran chose what to hit and chose what not to hit, and demonstrated it had the accuracy to make that choice. The West's answer to this was Patriot batteries. A Patriot interceptor costs approximately $4 million. Iran has 3,000 to 3,500 ballistic missiles in inventory. That arithmetic doesn't work in the defender's favor. A Shahed 136 costs an estimated $20,000 to build. A Patriot missile costs $4 million to fire. Iran exported this drone to Russia. Russia has now fired hundreds of them at Ukrainian cities. The economic equation was Iran's idea. The IRGC drone program started as a reconnaissance capability and became something else. The Shahed 136 is a loitering munition, sometimes called a kamikaze drone. It flies to a target area, circles until it identifies the target, and then dives. Range of approximately 2,000 kilometers. Warhead of approximately 40 kilograms. Unit cost estimated at $20,000. The Patriot interceptor fired to stop it costs $4 million. Iran has done that math, and so has every air defense planner in the region. The Aramco attack from the opening of this video was the Shahed 136's proof of concept. Saturation from multiple vectors. Defenses overwhelmed not by sophistication, but by volume. The Mohajer 6 is the IRGC's reconnaissance and strike platform, twin-boom design, 12-hour endurance, carries Qaem precision munitions. Combat proven in Syria. In 2022, Iran exported it to Russia, which deployed it in Ukraine. Western analysts tracking drone wreckage in Ukraine were reading Iranian engineering decisions made a decade earlier. The Arash-2 represents the next tier, faster, longer range, larger warhead than the Shahed 136. Its exact specifications remain partially open source. What's confirmed is that it's in development and that the design philosophy is the same. Cheap enough to fire in volume, accurate enough to matter. The IRGC drone program's core insight is that air defense systems are designed around interception ratios that assume expensive attackers. When the attacker costs $20,000 and the interceptor costs $4 million, the defender runs out of interceptors before the attacker runs out of drones. In 2006, a Hezbollah crew fired an Iranian-supplied missile at an Israeli warship. The INS Hanit's crew didn't know Hezbollah had anti-ship missiles. The ship survived. 4 sailors didn't. The missile was a Chinese design Iran had modified and transferred to a proxy. The IRGC Navy doesn't fight like a navy. Iran's conventional naval doctrine centers on the Strait of Hormuz, 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, through which approximately 21 million barrels of oil pass every day. That's 20% of global oil supply moving through a channel Iran can mine, can cover with shore-based missiles, and can flood with fast attack boats simultaneously. The fast attack boat swarm is the IRGC Navy's primary surface doctrine. Iran operates 200 or more of these vessels, small, fast, armed with rockets, missiles, and torpedoes, and designed to attack in groups that overwhelm close in weapon systems through volume. A single carrier strike group has a finite number of CIWS barrels. The IRGC swarm doctrine is built around that finite number. The Yono-class midget submarine displaces 120 tons. It's designed for Strait of Hormuz operations, shallow water, confined channels, mine laying in traffic lanes that supertankers cannot avoid. No Yono class has been confirmed in an offensive operation outside Iranian waters. The capability exists for Strait of Hormuz mining operations. That's the scenario every Gulf shipping insurer models. The Noor anti-ship missile is an Iranian development of the Chinese C-802, range of 120 kilometers, sea-skimming flight profile, active radar homing in terminal phase. In July 2006, a Hezbollah crew fired a Noor variant at the INS Hanit. an Israeli Sa'ar 5-class corvette operating 16 kilometers off the Lebanese coast. The ship's crew had been told Hezbollah didn't have anti-ship missiles. 4 sailors were killed. The ship survived. The intelligence assumption did not. The Strait choke point is the IRGC Navy's strategic foundation. It doesn't need to defeat the U.S. Navy. It needs to make the cost of transiting the Strait calculable, and then make that calculation uncomfortable. Iran has 150,000 rockets and missiles stockpiled in Lebanon through a proxy it's been funding since 1982. Those weapons have never crossed the Iranian border. No Iranian soldier is listed in the inventory. The country that built and supplied this arsenal has technical deniability on every single round. The proxy network is what makes the IRGC a shadow army rather than an irregular force. Hezbollah was founded in Lebanon in 1982 with IRGC funding, training, and weapons. Today, it's estimated to have 150,000 rockets and missiles stockpiled, including a growing inventory of precision-guided munitions. That precision-guided stockpile is larger than the entire missile inventory of most European NATO members. The weapons were manufactured in Iran, transferred through Syria, and stored in Lebanon. No Iranian soldier is assigned to the Hezbollah order of battle. The Houthis in Yemen have been receiving Iranian weapons since approximately 2015. The supply chain runs through Oman and by sea, ballistic missile components, Shahed drone technology, anti-ship missile systems. The January 2022 Houthi strike on the UAE, using ballistic missiles and drones, originated from Yemen using Iranian-supplied technology. The UAE is 1,800 kilometers from Iran. Iran didn't fire a single weapon. The Popular Mobilization Forces in Iraq are 67 factions comprising an estimated 200,000 fighters, formally integrated into the Iraqi state security structure since 2016. The IRGC Quds Force has advised, funded, and equipped PMF factions since the 2003 U.S. invasion. They operate inside a U.S. allied country's official military structure. The strategic logic of the proxy network is that Iran projects force into 4 countries simultaneously: Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq, and the Palestinian territories, without deploying Iranian troops, without crossing a border officially, and without triggering the legal threshold for direct military response. Every proxy attack has deniability. The network as a whole has none. Qasem Soleimani built and ran Iran's proxy network for 22 years. He was killed in a U.S. drone strike at Baghdad airport in January 2020. The proxy network kept operating without him. That tells you everything about how it was designed. The Quds Force is the IRGC branch that builds and runs the proxy network, an estimated 5,000 personnel operating across Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and Afghanistan simultaneously. Qasem Soleimani commanded the Quds Force from 1998 until January 3, 2020, when a U.S. MQ-9 drone strike at Baghdad International Airport killed him and Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, the commander of the Popular Mobilization Forces. The strike was the highest-profile targeted killing since Osama bin Laden. It was intended to remove the architect of Iran's proxy strategy. Soleimani's successor, Esmail Qani, assumed command within hours. The proxy network continued operating. The Houthis kept firing. Hezbollah kept receiving weapons. PMF factions kept attacking U.S. positions in Iraq. 83 attacks on U.S. forces in the first year after Soleimani's death, according to Pentagon tracking. The network was designed to survive the removal of any individual node. It did. The Klos-C seizure in March 2014 illustrated the Quds Force's logistics arm. Israeli naval commandos boarded the vessel in the Red Sea and found M302 rockets with ranges up to 160 kilometers, concealed in concrete bags, flagged under Panamanian registry, bound for the Sinai and eventually Gaza. It was one interception of what U.S. and Israeli intelligence estimated was a continuous supply operation. The Quds Force doesn't appear in the Iranian defense budget in a way that's verifiable from open sources. It operates with resources drawn from IRGC commercial enterprises, a network of business interests including construction, oil, and import-export operations that provide funding outside the government's official budget process. The U.S. and Israel spent an estimated $1 to $2 billion developing Stuxnet. It destroyed 984 Iranian centrifuges. Iran's response was to build a cyber capability. Then in 2012, they wiped 35,000 computers at Saudi Aramco in a single afternoon. The IRGC's cyber program was not built from scratch. It was built in direct response to being attacked. Stuxnet, jointly attributed to U.S. and Israeli intelligence agencies and confirmed in U.S. government reporting, was discovered inside the Natanz nuclear facility's control systems in 2010. It targeted Siemens programmable logic controllers running Iranian centrifuges and caused 984 centrifuges to destroy themselves by spinning outside their operational parameters while reporting normal operation to monitors. Iran's nuclear program did not stop. Iran built a cyber command. The IRGC Cyber Command was formally established around 2012. The same year, Shamoon, a data-wiping malware attributed to Iranian actors, hit Saudi Aramco. 35,000 workstations were wiped in a single operation, replacing hard drive contents with an image of a burning American flag. It was the most destructive corporate cyber attack recorded at that point. Aramco's operations were not halted, but the intent was not disruption. The intent was demonstration. Stuxnet cost an estimated $1 to $2 billion to develop. Shamoon cost a fraction of that to deploy and wiped 35,000 machines in hours. The IRGC does not need to match U.S. or Israeli cyber capability. It needs to impose costs that exceed the cost of imposing them, and on that metric, the record speaks. What you've just seen is not a conventional military. The IRGC was built specifically because Iran's conventional military cannot match its adversaries in a straight fight, and the 40-year record shows that decision worked. The missile program reaches 1,300 kilometers from Iranian soil. The Proxy network projects force into 4 countries simultaneously without a single official deployment. The drone program has changed the economics of air defense for every military in the region. The IRGC didn't win every engagement, but it changed the rules of every engagement it entered. The Proxy network gave Iran reach without fingerprints. The missile core gave Iran precision without parity. Between those two instruments, deniability and demonstrated accuracy, one of them shifted the regional balance of power permanently. The argument about which one is still open. Drop your answer in the comments, Proxy network or missile core. If this is the kind of breakdown you're looking for, subscribe. This channel covers the operations, the hardware, and the numbers that don't make the evening news.